The correct way to say my name is Sakshi, and I like how it's said and not Shakshi because I'm not a shark.
You know how to pronounce Armani, right? Just remove the I from Armani and you can pronounce my name. It's Arman, Arman.
My name has 3 words. It's Nguyễn Thanh Nhi, but everyone just call me Nhi because it's really simple. I think that when you say the other names accurately, that makes you feel more confident.
My name is Ishan.
Hello, Huskies, and welcome back to the My GVC podcast. I hope you have been enjoying this semester so far. How are your classes going? Have you met anyone new? Meeting new people is one of the best parts about starting a post-secondary program and getting to know your field of study. But it can also be messy and awkward. Have you ever had someone pronounce your name wrong? How did it make you feel? Did you correct them or just let it go? Today, we are talking to Raymund Lee, who is from the Office of Anti-Racism, Equity, and Human Rights. He started a campaign this year called Say My Name, which raises awareness about pronouncing someone's name properly and why that matters. Raymond, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Arantxa. I'm doing great.
Happy to have you here. I think it's a very important matter in our college and also our society. So can you tell me about of Say My Name campaign? What inspired you to do this?
Yes. Well, I'm interning at the Office for Anti-Racism, Equity, and Human Rights Services. And as a student, we had to contribute some form of program or something valuable to the office. And that was our required goal for this internship. And as I was talking to my supervisor, Nadia Richards, I really wanted to create something that the office could use long past my internship period. So it could be a resource, a tool, or a service that they could provide even with me gone. So it would be very easy to run. So I thought a campaign on social media might be a very useful form of awareness. And growing up, I've always had my name mispronounced. Like there's that U in my name and everyone calls me Raymond or Raymond, but I always just say, just call me Raymund, like Raymundo. There's no O. And so eventually at some point in my life, I just kind of got tired of saying that. And also, I didn't know the story of my name. I didn't know the actual sound of my name until I was in high school. So by that point, I was already responding to Ray or Raymond. And my mother has a very heavy accent, a very Chinese accent. So she would call me Raymond. So for a very long period of time, I never knew the sound of my name. So there was sort of like this identity of self through my name that I was struggling with. And taking all of that experience into a campaign, I thought there's a large community here at George Brown College of students who would like to be identified the way they choose to be. So having a platform that is safe, that is inclusive, that anyone can get involved in, and using a department such as the Office of Anti-Racism, Equity, Human Rights Services, which we call ORS, can provide that service for students in an ongoing format. It doesn't have to just be the short work term that I have. They could use the Say My Name campaign to give the service to all students.
For me, it sounds great. Actually, I think you made a very good point. There is a perfect way to impact others' life in our student community. I think we are like a very huge, diverse population.
Yes.
So why not to try to everyone has like that sense of property, like, okay, they're saying my name correctly, but it's also part of as a student, as a human being, to teach the others how you want to be like called. I think it's super normal. Like sometimes you don't know, like in my case, like, okay, it's Arantxa, Arancia, Arantxa. It's very hard when you see my name because also it has an X on it. So it's like, okay, how you pronounce that? And I love when the people is like, you, so how you say it, make you feel better. Because sometimes, as you said before, like you maybe you don't know why the people is calling that way. And it's totally perfect to just ask about that.
Yes, I agree 100%.
So when someone is entering a new program or a new community, why is pronouncing someone's name is so important for you?
Oh yes. It's part of building that rapport, that human connection with one another. If you go into a work environment and you are miscalled, like if I go into my first day of work and someone calls me Raymond or just calls me Ray, it makes me think, did you take the time to look at my name and try to get to know me? Are you making it convenient for you rather than build that connection with me? And I find like when a lot of people just write off my name and just say whatever they want, it's almost like a disservice. And I feel that's a common factor for a lot of people who are struggling with something similar like this. Our names are our identity and they're part of who we are. That's why they're so important. So to build that human connection with each other and have that first impression on the first day of school and be recognized for who you are is so important. That's why I believe this campaign can help a lot of people.
So can you tell me about how the campaign works? What are the key elements of it and how it has been going?
Yeah, in fact, we started the campaign with the idea of a small group of students, but it eventually grew with the stakeholders. There was so much interest that we wanted to create a wider audience. So essentially, from ground zero, when we advertise the campaign, we say we're on site on campus. We are filming from set time, and anyone who joins can come and visit with us. We have a script prepared, and they can share what their name is, if there's a meaning or story behind their name, and how to properly pronounce that name. And we collect those videos of students, staff, and faculty, and then we post them on social media. And in fact, today was the release of our first video that we filmed at orientation. We were at orientation for 3 days in a row, and we filmed a bunch of students. Unfortunately, we didn't get any staff or faculty, but we got a lot of students who contributed, and the video is on George Brown College's YouTube right now of all of these students who filmed, shared their name, shared the stories of their name, and how it's pronounced.
That sounds great. So by any chance, if you are scrolling on YouTube, just go to the video and let's see the first video that we have, how like the people is saying like in the orientation week, how to pronounce the name correctly, what is behind the names and the people who is actually standing by there.
Yes.
So as you said before, I think the students have responded very good to the campaign. So are there any responses that stand out to you, like you make a difference?
I think one of the strongest responses I got on our first day of filming was when a student said that when someone says my name, it makes me feel like I'm at home, back in my country. And that to me, like I knew the effect of this campaign would help people, would support people, give people a sense of inclusion and the skills to, and the confidence to share their name. But when someone says it to me, you kind of realize how valuable it is and how much it means to them and why they find the courage to share. So I think each person values their name in a different way, but to share it with someone makes it special.
That's true. That's feels of belonging, I think.
Yes.
So does it make any difference to tell a story or a meaning about your name when you meet someone?
I think the biggest difference it makes, it just shows that we're all human. It creates a stronger connection where, like, if I share the story of my name, like why I'm named Raymundo, it's because my birth mother loved a pair of singers called Ricardo and Raymundo. So my older brother is Ricardo and I'm Raymundo. That's the story of why we are named. But I didn't get to hear that until I was much older and I was Raymund, but I never knew I was Raymund because the O was never made it to my birth certificate. So there was a whole history behind why I was named. And when people share their history and we show interest in that history, it creates a stronger sense of connection, a stronger sense of friendship, building that rapport, and it makes both people feel as if we recognize one each other. We're learning about each other and we're celebrating the importance of our identity together.
I'm just feeling like that means a lot, because that's true. Like maybe you don't think in that way. Like, okay, that everything has something behind, so why not take care of that too and make that connection like even stronger? Like, because you are meeting that people even like more. So I think it's actually very, very nice. So what is your ultimate hope and dream for this campaign?
My ultimate hope and dream for this campaign, I'd love to check in on George Brown College maybe 5 years or 10 years after I've graduated, and still see students sharing their names confidently and sharing their story. It might not be the same title campaign of Say My Name, but if there's a community of people within George Brown College that feel safe, feel happy to share their name, and are celebrating each other's names and making the effort to learn about each other, I believe this campaign is a good starting point to create that kind of environment, that inclusive sense of community for everyone.
I really hope that this will like last longer, as you say, like a lot of time, because it's something that is related to everyone. So what is next for the campaign? Tell me a little bit more, or maybe for Office of Anti-Racism, Equity, and Human Rights.
What is next for the campaign? Well, I actually don't get to decide when the next event for Say My Name is, because my internship period will end in December. So my contribution to ORS was the summer program and the video process right now. So right now in the process of my planning for this campaign, I've created a campaign package for the Office of Anti-Racism, Equity, and Human Rights Services to use as they see fit. So if they have another intern student, or if there's another staff or stakeholder within George Brown College that would like to create more footage, or there's an opportunity. And when speaking with my supervisor, Nadia Richards, we have an idea that there's going to be more. There's an interest, there's an invested sense of continuing this process. I just don't have a glimpse or a date in mind, but I do believe there is an interest for more videos to be made, more spaces for students to share their names, for staff and faculty to get involved, and to create this community of inclusiveness through our identity of our names.
That sounds amazing. And also it's going to be like an amazing way to, leave that sense of us at college. Like you gave a huge part of you in the college with this program, this campaign, sorry. So thank you so much for speaking with me today. I hope Say My Name has a really positive impact on the students of George Brown and all our community. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Arantxa.
Students, if you want to learn more about Say My Name campaign, just go and check the link on our show notes. Thanks for listening again today. We look forward to bringing you more news and information about George Brown student life next time on the MyGVC podcast. Until then, have a great week.